Hello Flosstube, welcome to my channel. My name is Amy. I go by Fiber Arts Amy here and on Instagram. I am back after a pretty long hiatus. I probably am going to be talking for a while and showing a lot of things. So feel free to grab a snack, your stitching, something to drink, tea, whatever makes you happy, hot chocolate if you're like me. And settle in. For those of you who like long videos, I can't guarantee it, but I feel like this might be one of them. I haven't been around for a while, in part because I had surgery. A lot of you know that in early December I had a partial knee replacement. So, and everything's fine. Like, I'm doing well. I'm healing well. I still need to get a lot of strength back in my leg. My knee and scar tissue is still kind of tight and kind of need to work the kinks out. But I'm doing really well, and I keep being told I'm benefiting from the fact that I'm relatively young and active having this surgery. A lot of people are several decades older than me when they have the surgery. So lucky on that score. So anyway, all of that's going well. But it is, to a large extent, why I've been gone so long. After surgery, my stitchy bug was gone. And for any of you who have had like a surgery, I would imagine just about any kind, probably understand what I mean. For a couple weeks, I was just sleeping almost constantly. My energy level is most days back to normal now, but it's only just gotten back to normal here in the last week or two. And still I have days where I'm absolutely wiped out if I kind of do too much or overdo it with my leg. So my energy level was just in the toilet. It was just awful. And for at least 6 to 8 weeks, I just could barely, I just didn't even sit up most of the time. And even if I was awake, I just didn't feel like I had the energy to stitch. Definitely didn't trust myself to follow a pattern and not just have to frog everything. So post-surgery, I was doing a lot more hand sewing, English paper piecing, a little bit of embroidery, knitting. I've definitely, my brain has been, now you guys know me if you've been here before. Welcome if if you haven't been here before, but I have a million whips in a number of different crafting genres. I flit from thing to thing often, but I also lately have been, while enjoying, I need to block that a little bit better, enjoying flitting, I also have been kind of focusing a lot more on one project. So what does that functionally mean? I might have 2 or 3 projects, for cross stitch, let's say. I might have 2 or 3 projects that are really in the forefront of my mind that I want to be making really good progress on. And so those 2 to 3 projects might in total take up anywhere from 60 to 80% of my stitching time. But then in the other 20 to 40% of my stitching time, depending on the week, I'm flitting. I need to flit. It's who I am. So I might put a few stitches here, a few stitches there, whatever. But the bulk of my time is kind of spent on those projects that I care most about, in the moment, and kind of wanting to, I can't say get a finish on next, because a lot of my projects, are enormous. So I have a Teresa Wentzler that's one of those projects right now that I'm focusing on. It still might be 10 years before it's done. I just don't know. Same thing with Chatelaines. But that's where a lot of my attention's going. Well, anyway, so I was doing mostly hand sewing and knitting in my crafting time, because those to me are mentally a lot easier. And then 2 weeks ago, my cross stitch bug came back with a vengeance. And now I need to stitch all the things. And I'm having a great time. And it's wonderful. And I have to say, it started with Chatelaine. Chatelaine, just I got into a huge Chatelaine groove. And that's now like expanded, and I'm working on other things also, but I have a lot of chatelaines to show you. I had a blast. I actually went through my fabric stash. A lot of you know, but even before I started Oak Crown Studios, sorry, I am going way too fast for anyone who's new here. I run Oak Crown Studios. It's a hand-dyed fabric company. I will link it below, and I'll link everything I can remember that I talk about. Freya, do not jump down. You're gonna shake the camera. Fine. She's gonna come back in a few minutes. I'd be willing to bet and want to get back up. Anyway, I run Oak Crown Studios, hand-dyed fabric company. But before I started Oak Crown a few years ago, I think I'm almost 3 years old now. My company's almost 3 years old. Anyway, I bought fabric. I bought tons of fabric. Have an enormous fabric stash. Well, my increased stitchy bug here recently caused a couple of issues. One was I decided I really needed to go through my chatelaine stash and get it straightened out. I keep a list of all of the chatelaine patterns I have and what supplies I have for each chatelaine and which are on order. I do that for a number of reasons. One, there's a lot of them and I might lose track otherwise, but also orders from 123 Stitch can take a year or sometimes more. Sorry, orders from European Cross Stitch Company. That's what I meant. European Cross Stitch. They provide kits of chatelaines, but those orders can take, you know, like I said, a very long time to come in. And so you might forget that you ordered something. Or I might forget, you might not, but I totally would. In the last year, my list got out of whack. I actually, because we had the Chatelaine retreat, we're planning another Chatelaine retreat for this summer. And I lost track of, like, my list. It's on my phone. I don't lose the list, but it got out of date. It was messed up. So I spent a few days going through my entire Chatelaine stash, updating my list to make sure that it was accurate, and at the same time, went through my stash of fabric, which is kept in this closet. Not the Oak Crown stuff, the like other company stuff. Kept in that closet. And as best I could, I matched up fabric to projects. Now, when I was in fabric clubs, I tended to get a fat half, which, if that was an option, which is very helpful because there are a lot of chatelaines that'll fit on a fat half. Some of them will only fit on a full yard. I did have a few full yards I could pull from. Anyway, I had a blast. I had so much fun. While I was going through my fabric stash and matching up fabrics to chatelaines, I also pulled a lot of fabric. And some of you may have already seen, there is a fabric destash video on my channel, which I'm just going to talk about for 1 minute. I put it up yesterday, like the day before I'm filming this, which is Thursday, February 19th, maybe. It's just as short as I can make it, destash video. There's no like stitching content, but I just need to get rid of a lot of my fabric, especially now that I'm a fabric dyer. I don't need all of this fabric. I bought a ton of fabric during COVID, as a lot of us did. And I don't need it. So it's all the fabric I show in the video is like ready to ship. I explain in the video how to buy it from me if you want it. And so that's a thing. If you don't want to shop, feel free to give the video a miss. What else? I'm sorry if I'm talking really fast. I'm just very excited. I'm very excited to have my stitchy bug back. So I have a ton of stuff around me. Ooh, sorry if you can hear my dog barking. She's in the other room. There's probably somebody walking by on the street. So none of this is in any particular order. I'm just gonna get going. So some of these are things I've worked on, and some of my plans basically are mixed into this. Some of these are projects I've worked on. Some of them are projects that are just in the forefront of my mind right now because, yeah, anyway, they're like things I'm hoping and planning to get some stitches in on here soon. So I've talked before, probably in the last year or so, about how I've been wanting to go back and like put my hands on like some older whips and make progress on them. And this is one of those. So this is called Pirate Treasure from Lynn Nicoletti. This is no longer available. It's sometimes called Oak Island Mystery. Some of you may be familiar with Oak Island. It's a real place with like a real booby trap situation on it. There's like documentaries, and I think there's a reality television show about Oak Island. It's very like unsolved mysteries. I grew up with unsolved mysteries. Some of you, if you're old enough, will know what I'm talking about. I started this 20 years ago ish, a very long time ago, and it's not very big. This is actually on a MCG Textiles linen. I love their linen. Sometimes it's not very even. It's not very even in its weave. Like it might be like a 28 by 32 count instead of being like 28 count in both directions. But that doesn't always matter. I just love the look of it. It just has such a very natural, I know some of you out there hate slubs. I love them. It's part of the nature of the fabric. I think they're beautiful. Anyway, this is my Oak Island Mystery. You can see I've got a significant amount done. Yeah, it's not huge. I have the charms that go with it. I bought this back in the day when like it came out and was available. So anyway, I think, oh, so the reason I grabbed this, because it got me all excited about it again, I was watching, and her name just flew out of my brain, Samantha, the Huga Stitcher. And she pulled hers out. And I don't know that I've ever actually seen someone who has this chart before. There was at one point, this was like the hot item, right? The big ticket item that people were trying to hunt down years ago. And I just don't think that many of them were printed. And unless somebody correct me if I'm wrong, if somebody knows that it's available again, or a way to legally get it and not, you know, a pirated photocopy or whatever, please put that in the comments below, because I know there's a lot of people out there that would love to have it. But that is my Pirate Treasure Oak Island Mystery, and I hope to start working on that again soon. Let's skip over a few of these for right now. Okay, so this was a new start for me, and it is barely a start. But I was dying to start it. There's also, I know some of you hate starting things. To me, there's something very satisfying about starting a kit or any project. Like just breaking into it, enjoying getting to feel and touch and see all the new materials, and just finding the center of your fabric and counting to where you're going to start and putting in your first fresh stitches. I love it. So I've been seeing this a lot lately. Sorry about the glare. This was, it's Dimensions Gold, Oriental Splendor. This isn't one that would usually appeal to me because it's an indoor scene. I love the vases of flowers that, Dimensions does and other companies, but usually, I'm drawn to the ones where they're like on a windowsill or something, and there's sort of some outside nature going on as well. This one doesn't have any of that. But I saw somebody showing off their finished piece, and I'm sorry, I don't remember who it was. This was months and months ago. And I fell in love. That the vase is to die for, and something about the colors just really grabbed me. I love just the hint of the background and the wallpaper. It's beautiful. Let me show you my really, really tiny start. It's super tiny, and I need to make some more progress. I might end up having to put my glasses on for some of this because I can't even tell which is the front, which is the back. That's it. I got one stranded. Just one. That's okay. It started. And once it started, and that's part of the reason why I love starting things, once it started, it's so much easier to just pick up and go. If you're like, ooh, I don't have much time, let me just grab something and work on it. It's really easy once it's started. A lot of my stuff that's like plans are on the top, so I'm kind of trying to get through some of that first. So this was a new start. Also, I was stitching on this while I was stitching Lady Lugana, Sarah, Lady Lugana, who's got a channel here. And again, I will try to link everybody in like shops I talk about and all of that. I usually do the linking when I rewatch my video once it's posted. So it can be an hour or two between when it posts and when all of the links are there. So if you watch the video right away and you're not seeing links, just come back a little while later and they should be there. This is a Sunset kit. I think it might be released as a Dimensions at some point too, because Dimensions bought Sunset. I think that's how that works. It is called Charming Bird Watcher. And I just fell in love with a little kitty and little birds. I love cats. I am a cat person. I can't have cats. I mean, I love my dog too, but I can't have cats because my husband's so allergic to them. But anyway, this is, I started with the middle window. This is going to be the cat's ear right there, like the tip of her ear. So I was just framing out the window and the color behind the cat. Worked on that on a call. It's just done on the Kit Ada. The last one I showed to you, the Oriental Splendor. I'm just using the Kit Ada. Usually I use Kit Ada, but not always. Try to point it out if I've substituted the fabric. Okay, I mentioned Teresa Wentzler. Oh, let me talk about retreats. So in case you don't know, Kitschy Whips, Maggie and I host the Queen City Stitch Retreat. This year, 2026, we're doing 2 retreats. We're doing this one this summer for Chatelaine, that's Chatelaine themed, and we're doing one in the fall that is Teresa Wentzler themed. You do not have to stitch those designers to come to or enjoy the retreats. There are plenty of people who come who aren't stitching the like featured designer. That's not a problem. We want you to come and have fun if you're interested. We have waitlist spots available for both of those retreats right now. And by waitlist spots available, well, let me explain. We only keep the waitlist open if we think there's a good chance those people will get pulled to have a spot, if that makes sense. If we have such a huge wait list that we know no one who's still signing up is going to get in, we don't keep the wait list open. So we still have wait list of spots available for both the July retreat, which is Chatelaine, and the October retreat, which is Teresa Wentzler. If you are interested in coming to Charlotte and partying with us, please come join us. We'd be happy to have you. I'll link our website below that has the links to the Google Forms for signing up. And then if we're able to pull you from the wait list, if we're able to pull you from the wait list, we'll send you an email and you get to come party with us. Our retreats are a blast, I have to say. Huge fun. There's tons of videos out there. Deb, the Traveling Stocking Stitcher, has brag table videos that are great. She's got an amazing one from our Chatelaine retreat last year. If you're interested in kind of seeing what our retreats are like. There's also some videos out there where we have interviewed, so we do a Mirabilia retreat every couple years. And in the past, Nora Corbett has attended, the designer behind Mirabilia. So there's also some videos out there of us doing our like Q&A sessions with Nora. Again, if you're interested to check those out. Okay, back to stitching. So Teresa Wentzler. My Teresa Wentzler mood is definitely running high right now since we've got a retreat coming up this year. And I have been working on Woodland Fairy from Teresa Wentzler. I think this is actually the most beautiful cross-stitch piece that has ever been created in the history of the world. I adore this so much. If I only ever finish one more thing in my lifetime, I want it to be this. But also, it's really not fun if this is all I'm stitching. This thing requires so much concentration. So some of you know, for a couple of years, I was focusing on, I think my dog might be coming back. I was focusing on finishing Princess and the Dragon from Teresa Wentzler, and I did finish it last year. It's framed, it's hanging on my wall. Do you want to come back up? Can you figure out how to do that? I'm going to move you for 1 second. Okay, come on. Come on. You got it. There you go. Good girl. Good girl. Okay. Now hopefully she won't want to move again. Sorry, I just had to move you guys. Anyway, so I focused on that Princess and the Dragon for 2-3 years. It was already like a very progressed whip. But then I really focused on it and was able to get it done in like 2-3 years. And that's what I'd like to do with this, although it's probably going to take a lot more than just 2 or 3 years to get it done. Now, I focus on it, so for me, I need to stitch on Teresa Wentzler's when my kids aren't home and my attention is not being split with something else. So optimally, what I try to do is have 1 to 2 days a week where when my kids are at school, I can get anywhere from like 1 to 3 hours just stitching on that piece. That's what I mean by focusing. That for me is what focusing on a Teresa Wentzler is. I might stitch on other Teresa Wentzlers as well, but like that time I try to find every week, except for school breaks, and I don't do it during the summer because my kids are home. My kids are getting older. We may reach the point, I need to move my leg. We may reach the point, I'm assuming we will at some point, where I can stitch on Teresa Wentzler when my kids are home. We'll have to see. Anyway, this is my current focus, and this is where I am. It just got pulled back out this week. So I've got, now there is a little bit done. Well, kind of a lot done. I'm not going to take it off the Q-snap. But there is a bunch done over there. Like the top of the border has a lot of work on it. This is a fairy's wing, and I did a whole bunch of work on the fairy's wing this time. And these are little like round sections within the fairy's wing. I put those in. Sorry, I have kind of threads everywhere. It's really slow going, but it's going. I'm making progress, and that makes me extremely happy because I love this piece so very much. I do have a kit for this, but I replaced the fabric. I've told the story before. I think I still have the fabric over here. I started stitching this once and did the entire outside border all the way around, or most of the way around, and realized I was going to have very little border on some of the sides. Like the kit fabric often just only comes with like a 1.5 or 2 inch border. So I switched to linen, and I'm very happy with it. Okay, so that's my woodland fairy. Again, if you want to come to Teresa Wentzler retreat, you do not have to stitch Teresa Wentzler's, but I am very excited because I have bought a lot of finished Teresa Wentzler's on the secondary market, and I'm going to have like, I think like 11 for the brag table. And I'm just very excited to see what that brag table looks like with people who are working on or have done Teresa Wentzler's, to like pull all of those in one place. I think it's going to be amazing. Okay, what do I want to show you next? There's so many choices. Sorry for the crinkling. All right, I'm going to try to go back to Chatelaine. Avalanche. Avalanche. Oh, I did so much more planning than I usually do for these videos. You ready? I pulled up videos, or not videos, photographs of some of these to show you. So one chatelaine I'm kind of focusing on because I'd really like to have it done for this summer's retreat is, I do have to kind of scroll through the page. Why is it not here? Why is it not here? They're supposed to be alphabetical. I wonder if it's in small designs and freebies. Please be patient. It is. Cordoba Patio is one that I am working on. It is, this is from the page I'm showing you is the Chatelaine Gallery, which I will try to remember to link below. Cordoba Patio doesn't have instructions to it. It's just a chart. But European Cross Stitch does offer a kit, which I purchased. So again, sorry for all these threads hanging. But this is where I am so far on Cordoba Patio. This is the outside, and I started some of the eyelets I'm putting in up there. I don't even know if they're supposed to be eyelets. I'm doing them as eyelets. Because there's like the lines on the chart, but it doesn't tell you like what to do, which is fine. It's easy to be easygoing with this one. This one is very small. It's just about like 10.5 by 10.5, I want to say. It like barely fits in the Q-snaps. So what I'm actually going to do is kind of stitch like the top and the side. And then once I get those finished, I can move that. You can like adjust where you have these. I can kind of snap them to the back. I'll be able to move this part up into the corner and then have the other sides available to stitch on. It's a little bit more comfortable to stitch on. So anyway, this so far has been very fast. It doesn't have a ton of stitching in it. And I would really love to have this done for this summer's retreat. So I can't guarantee it'll happen, but I'm going to try. All right, while I'm grabbing chatelaines, let me pull out or show you Summer Garden. So, I should tell you, I don't even know. Okay, so this is Summer Garden. This is on one of my fabrics. This is on Oak Crown Studios Toasted Coconut. It's a little hard to see with it in the Q-snap. It's like a very light kind of beige, but it's kind of a yellowy beige, but it's also got these sort of hits of kind of a caramel-y color. It's toasted coconut. Looks like toasted coconut. So Maggie and I, this is our second year doing a Chatelaine stitch along. Last year was Water Garden, and this year is the Summer Garden mandala. And it's going to keep falling. It doesn't stay up well because it's a petite treasure braid, so it's heavy. I have not gotten very far. It's February, so we've released parts 1 and 2. And I should say Maggie has, because she's really doing like all the work for it. I can't really claim to be doing much other than being her friend. This is one of my favorite ever mandalas. It's going to get done eventually, but my stitchy bug has only been back for a couple of weeks, so I'm doing my best. The colors on this are just so stunning and vibrant and beautiful and lovely. I adore this one. So there's my, and I should show you what it looks like, which was the whole point to why I had pulled these out. Again, I'm going to show you the picture from the gallery. This is what the whole mandala looks like. But like, look at you can see it there. The bee scap, like, it's so beautiful. There's strawberries in the middle. Like you can see them there, the strawberries. The color palette makes me happy. I adore this chatelaine. So I'm very happy to be working on that. There's so much over here. And then not a chatelaine, but at the Chatelaine retreat last year, Katie Tonight, who is she's designing under the company Sosna Designs. Wait, let me make sure I got the right way up. What's the right way up, Amy? That's the right way up. She's designing under Sosna Designs. I will include her contact information below because her designs are beautiful. And the one I'm about to show you is available for sale. I only have an image of the mock-up to show you, but this was the freebie at the 2025 Chatelaine retreat. This isn't a Chatelaine design, but Katie designed some things that are she's designed some mandalas and some things that are very kind of Chatelaine-esque. And so she came up with this beaded water lily tile, And the mock-up doesn't even come close to doing it justice. But this was the freebie at our retreat, and this is now available for sale directly from Katie. And I never finished mine. And I really want to, because it's stunning. It's just so me. It's one of my favorite designs I've seen. And part of what held me up, I've had to frog more on this piece than I've had to frog ever in my life on all of the other things put together. And it's not Katie's fault. It's entirely my fault. First of all, I had done one of the flowers. The one up here. I had done one of the water lily flowers, which are all in beads. This is like one of Martina's beaded tile series, was what Katie was modeling it after. I had grossly misinterpreted Katie's instructions, which she even then later revised the instructions in case anybody was as big of a dingbat as I was. And I had beaded it wrong. So I had to frog like an entire flower of beading. And then I had stitched my fish over 2, because in the chart, there's koi fish here in the middle. In the chart, there's an option to stitch them over 1 or over 2. And I had stitched mine over 2. And the over 2 fish looked great. But when I was at the retreat, I got to see people's over 1 fish. And the over 1 fish were just that much better. I really loved the over 1 fish. So this sat basically since last summer, waiting for me to frog the fish. So finally the other day, I got this out, I frogged the fish, and I started doing some more stitching. And I kid you not, I had to frog like 2 more times. It's feeling cursed, and it's entirely my fault. I don't normally have that much trouble, and I was just couldn't count that day. Couldn't count. But I fought through, and I'm making progress again, which makes me very happy, because it's a pretty quick stitch. It's not huge. This also fits within the 11 by 11 Q snaps. I would love to see it done. It's just so beautiful. So I'm working hard on this. I don't know. I don't think there's anything else in this pile I have to show you. I also have to say most of my stitching time is going to this, which you can't really see. This is my fabric mushroom stew. This is the called for. Katie designed a free pattern for our Chatelaine themed retreat again for this summer. That pattern is free to attendees only. After the retreat, it will be available for sale from Katie, but I can't show it to you yet. I can tell you the called for is mushroom stew, but I can't show you the pattern. I'm trying to kind of clean up as I go. Doing a so-so job. Okay, so that's Sasana Designs and that stitching that I've been doing. I think we're just gonna have to go like top down over here. That was Cordoba Patio. Which one's this? Oh, nope, I didn't pull that one up. I haven't started this. This is Medieval Town Mandala, which I've been like slowly gathering supplies for. Oh, this. I think I put like a few stitches in this since you saw it last, but like might only be 2. But it's on my mind. This is Elegance, John Clayton's Elegance, but this is a person's name, Elizabeth. This one's Elizabeth. I know I've talked about this in here before because it reminded me of like, it's a different era, but like it felt like Hercule Poirot and the trains and the period piece, and she's embroidering, and I just think it's amazing. So, got a little, like a tiny bit of progress on this. I also think this is going to be a pretty quick stitch. But that's on my radar to hopefully get some stitches in here in the coming weeks. It'll be really fun to come back to my next video, and you're probably going to see that it's all stuff, like all the things I've stitched are like nothing that I've shown you today. This is probably what's going to happen because it's me. Let me show you Paris Mandala. Oh, Do I have Paris Mandala pulled up? I don't remember if I do or not. I really was on just a huge Chatelaine kick. Freya. Well, let me show you Egypt first because I have Egypt pulled up. Egypt is my, sorry about the dog, my primary Chatelaine that I'm focusing on. Like, again, a very years-long process. But on Chatelaine Wednesday, it's usually, which the hashtag Maggie and I started to like make sure we're making progress on these like precious projects that we love so much. Chatelaine Wednesday is when Egypt Mandala Garden's going to come out. I'm going to find time every Wednesday, with very few exceptions, to put some stitches in on this. This is what Egypt looks like. I love this one so much. I'm kind of obsessed with Egypt. I hope to go one day. And I was very happy. I hadn't worked on this in months, not since surgery. I was very happy to get back to this. What I did, so all of this blue, dark blue in the background, that honestly was feeling like kind of an insurmountable task. I feel like I got over the hump of that this week. I've kept moving out on this one, honestly, to avoid that blue. Just didn't want to do the blue. It just, there's so many fractionals. There's just so many fractionals and so much counting. It's kind of exhausting. And I'm very proud of myself because I jumped back in this week and I got a lot of that blue done, and it does not feel insurmountable anymore. So progress on Egypt, which I'm going to try to put back behind me, which is where it stays. People usually ask, Freya, do you want to come up again? Come here. For people who want to know, come on, come on. That's a mnemonic frame. Come on, come on. She's scared of I have a bunch of these frames here, and she's scared of them. Come here, come here. You got it. Good girl. Good girl. Lay down. Lay down. Thank you. Mnemonic frames, actually, they're not available anymore. So I don't know, I'm telling you about them. They're very much like Millennium frames, though. If you're looking for one just like that, I would go for the Millennium frames, which I believe are still available from the UK. Great quality. I do have one Millennium frame. They're the tightest I've ever gotten a scroll frame to be by far. By far. So very, very pleased with those. Paris. I was going to show you Paris. This Chatelaine Gallery website is just such an amazing resource. So my Paris mandala is kind of like I find it relatively easy to pick up and put down, at least at this point. I'm stitching it in hand so I can kind of stitch it anywhere, which is nice. So this is what the Paris mandala as a whole looks like. No, is that the whole? Yeah, that is the whole thing. That's what the Paris mandala as a whole looks like. It's beautiful. The fibers are so stunning. I want to show you part of the center. Just kind of a close-up. It's so, so beautiful. I love Martina's lanterns. She has lanterns of one sort or another in a lot of her designs. And basically, if it has a lantern in it, I want to stitch it. So I'm stitching this on, I don't know the color name, but it's pink. Sajou linen that I ordered from Sajou in France. It was like a splurge order I did probably a couple years ago now, where I ordered some stuff from Sajou just to play with and have fun. I have been tackling some of this over one in the center and some of this darker blue that has a lot of fractionals. And you know I jump around a lot. But I'm enjoying this. It's for me, it's an easy chatelaine to pick up and put down if I feel like, you know, I've got a half hour. I don't know what to stitch. Oh, this is easy. I'll pick this up and do some work on it. So it's been seeing some love. I'm trying to like make piles as I throw things of like things that stay down here, things that go back upstairs. All right, I'm gonna show you another chatelaine. I put stitches in a lot of chatelaines. Not many stitches, but a lot. There were a lot of them that saw some progress over the last couple of weeks. And again, some progress is progress, right? So I probably doubled my stitch count in Blue Moroccan lace. Don't get excited. There's still almost nothing done. But there's twice as much done as there was before. Okay. I'm just trying to make sure I show you the right side. All right. This is my Blue Moroccan lace. So the center's down here. Hopefully you guys can hear me okay. I have no idea what this is stitched on. I think it's just stitched on white. For Blue Moroccan lace, I felt like white was the way to go to really make the colors sing, because the colors are basically what I love so much about it. Hopefully you guys can hear me okay. I'm also using, and I'll try to remember to link this, Mrs. Sadis silks. Mrs. Sadis, and I love like trying new things and trying different dyers, you know, silks and that sort of thing. She has a silk conversion pack that I believe is much cheaper than the called for silks for this project. I do not believe that you can wash them. Like you're not gonna be able to wash, just like any chatelaine, you're not gonna be able to wash this when you're done. But still, it's stunning. I love it. I love her silks. I love working with them. They're soft and lovely. So anyway, yeah, put a little more progress in. Okay, so let's talk about this scroll frame for a minute. Like I just said, I love trying new things. This is a Nerge scroll frame. It's fine. It's fine. I don't love it as much as the Harmonics, the older Harmonics especially, but this one's available. So when I ordered it from Fat Quarter Shop. It's kind of heavy. I ordered it from Fat Quarter Shop, and it's not like you buy the whole thing as a set. Like you don't get to choose the length of these bars. But I think these bars are available in different sizes, and I want to do some poking around about that and see if I can maybe find some shorter bars. When the bars are this long, I can't reach what's up here, because your arms are going under and over this thing to stitch. But that means, like, so if I'm reaching, right, it's only as far as my arm's gonna reach that I can comfortably stitch. And that's why I kind of have this like centered so it's lower down, so I can stitch on it more comfortably. I don't want to be trying to stitch up here, because also when this is like down closer to my lap, I'm not actually hooking my elbow all the way under, if that makes sense. And I don't want to be like stressing out my body in order to stitch. I find scroll frames comfortable as long as I'm stitching within like a certain portion of what's exposed. Anyway, I am probably gonna do some poking around sometime when I'm bored and see if I can get some shorter sidebars for these. Otherwise the scroll frame is okay. I did find it's not as, I can't get things nearly as tight though as like the Omonic or the Millennium. And I did decide it was worth, I used some quilting thread, some hand quilting thread, and just kind of whip stitched the sides across here. It just takes a minute or two to do. It's not a big deal. You do have to redo it when you like move the fabric up or down, like roll it up or down on the frame. But I have never found that it's like that big of a deal to have to redo. So that is my Blue Moroccan lace that I don't want to drop. The other one I've got for you is, or one other one I have for you, is Water Garden, which was our Maggie's and my Chatelaine Stitch Along for 2025. I haven't even come close to finishing mine. Not even in the ballpark. But man, is it beautiful. It's beautiful and it's a fun stitch and I really want to finish it. We have a ton of people who did finish it. And a lot of, even more people who are still working on it and are getting close to finishing it from last year. This was so fun to do. You're not going to be able to see the whole thing, but you'll see most of it. This is where, well, you can't see part of it. Rolls on there. But this is where I am so far on my Water Garden. I'm showing you the back, aren't I? Totally showing you the back. How about I show you the front? This is where I am so far in my Water Garden. I started rolling it at the bottom. So usually I don't like, this is called stitching in the well, where the stitch surface is lower than the bar. Ergonomically, I don't love doing that. But if I don't, I'm finding that the stitches here can get like a little bit roughed up, a little bit more fuzzed from like just rubbing against me or being touched or rubbing against my arm. So I started doing that to protect the stitching. Anyway, this is where I am. I have not put any more stitches in on this since 2025, but I'm really looking forward to getting back to it because I would like to get this done as well. It's super fun. Oh, I knew that was going to happen. These newer Amonic frames I don't like as much because the sidebars can pop off. Not when you're stitching on them, but when you're like carrying them or moving them like I was just doing. I do apologize for that bang though. Excuse me. I am doing a lot of talking, aren't I? All right, before I forget, why don't I show you my Irish mandala, which I did put stitches in on. And get to the picture. I love this one, and part of the reason I brought this out, I do have Irish ancestry. I've been to Ireland. Part of the reason I brought this one out though is because I started this several years ago on St. Patrick's Day. I thought that would be a great idea. And I was thinking here in the last week or so, well, wouldn't it be great to just bring it out every March and put some progress in on this in March of every year? Like that would be a great, I'm not usually one for schedules and stuff, but Chatelaine Wednesday works really well for me. And I'm wondering if maybe after, you know, a decade or two of Marches, I could have a finish on the Irish mandala. But to get myself jump started, I did, again, I probably more than doubled my progress on this in one day. It's a wishing well that's at the center. Like this is like a stone ring and water in the middle. So yeah, probably at least doubled my progress on my Irish mandala. And this is just on white linen. Yeah, so not much progress yet, but look forward to seeing this again because I think it's gonna see a lot of love in March. Look at all these greens. I got the kit from European Cross Stitch years ago. Look at all the green. It's so lovely. Can't wait. Cannot wait. Beads. Oh, look at all the beads. Oh, so many beads. This is just going to be stunning. I'm very excited. So the Irish one, so most of my chatelaines are in 2 big tubs, like plastic tubs, down in my basement, my humidity controlled basement. But I've kept a handful that I'm more wanting to like kind of focus on, either here in my stitchy spot or up in my bedroom, which is also a stitchy spot, so they can get more progress. This is just going to be all, this is in like no order. Okay, so those of you who like chatelaine might also be aware of what I'm going to call tutu stitch. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that correctly. I will link them below. It's T-O-T-O-O. I feel like somebody told me they're in Taiwan, Thailand, someplace in Asia. I wish I knew better, and I just don't have that information in my brain. They design really intricate designs that some of them are very like chatelaine-esque. There's mandalas. I think they're lovely and beautiful, but also some of them are they're just so intricate and so detailed and so expensive. From what people have shared with me, a lot of them are like way more expensive than chatelaines. I don't see myself adding one like that to my repertoire. However, there is one that is, she also has smaller and simpler designs, that isn't one of those, you know, kind of break the bank designs. This one is called Lemon, and this is the one I decided to start. I love the lemons. I love the butterflies. I love the center. What really pushed me over the edge was these tiles, which are all stitched over one, although I will probably do them with 2 strands over one half stitch instead of full cross. Kind of going to test it out, see how that works. I've barely gotten started. And I just started one of the, this is actually, yeah, no, it is one of the lemons. I was like, is it a lemon or one of the flowers? It's a lemon. And this is a, I don't remember the name of it, but this is a coloring cotton that I had in my stash. So yeah, I just got a lemon started so far, but this is one that I feel like I don't, well, I was stitching it in hand, and I feel like I can kind of take with me anywhere. Oh, can I take a minute too to shout out Kathy's Posies, who I talk about a lot. I love her bags. This seemed like the perfect bag to go with this tutu stitch. Very happy with it. There's so much here. We'll get to it. Okay. I've got a few things here that I haven't worked on since you saw them last, although I have more whips coming up, but are kind of in on my radar. This is something I want to finish. So, well, let's talk about Year of the Horse. So some of you know I'm focusing on some horse projects this year because it's Year of the Horse. I think that actually officially just started yesterday, maybe the day before, but I think yesterday. This is a horse whip that I've had for a while. It's quite small, but also quick and easy to stitch. And so I would like to get this done. This was at my cabin, but I went ahead and brought it home so that hopefully I can knock this out pretty quickly. That's my sort of first Year of the Horse whip that I'm hoping to get done. Put this somewhere I won't lose it or forget about it. I'm running out of space, guys. Okay. And then the other Year of the Horse thing I'm focusing on, and this was a lovely bag that was gifted to me for Year of the Horse specifically. Love it. This is, of course, I didn't pack it away so that the cover photo would be easy to see. This is from Riolis. It's called Horse Girl, and I just love this. It's so soft and lovely and beautiful. I don't have very much done on it, but as far as kits go, this is a relatively easy kit as well. Oh, I have very little done on it. I actually started this at the Chatelaine, nope, at the Mirabilia retreat in the fall. So that's it. That's all I've gotten done. But there's nowhere to go but up. I really want to get back to working on this. And these stitches are special because I did them while sitting next to Nora Corbett. That will be a forever memory. Makes me very happy. You guys know how that is. You remember, like, you know, what was going on in your life when you started or finished or were working on a project? Well, that's what that one is for me. Okay. God, there's so much. I feel like there is a reasonable order to go in. I just don't know what it is. Do you guys want to see all the stuff? Like, part of me is like, I shouldn't show all this. But I know some people hate long videos, but I also know that a lot of you really like long videos. So maybe I just lean into the long video and keep going. What do you think? Keep going. Oh, this is, oh, I'll show you. This is the Mrs. Sadis silks for Blue Moroccan lace. They're lovely. And you can see some of the colors. You get many, you know, skeins. It's a very stitch dense Chatelaine. All right, I'm going to hop back to Teresa Wentzler for a minute. I don't have a picture of this to show you. Maybe I shouldn't hop back. Of course, I dropped floss. Teresa Wentzler miniature keep. This is a Teresa Wentzler I'm working on. I'll try to link it below because it's available as a PDF. There are Teresa Wentzlers. If you're interested in Teresa Wentzler, or you're like, oh, I've always kind of wanted to stitch one, you can get a lot of them now as PDFs. This one, so I've stitched the outside. It's an image of a knight with a castle behind him. And basically I've done all of the over 2 stitching on this piece. And the rest of this whole inside is done over 1. So it's going to be slow going, but I'm hoping to have this done before the retreat in the fall, which I'm very excited about. And I've also started stitching Future Cast. Oh, goodness gracious, where are you? Future Cast is one of the freebies that was available. I don't know if you can still, through some internet sleuthing, manage to find these or not. They're no longer on her website. Teresa Wentzler took her website down, I think a couple years ago now. But for a while there were some dragon freebies available. I didn't even finish this stitch. So this is where I am in Future Cast. This is just a couple days or couple evenings of work. This is turning out to be a super quick stitch. That's like I need to connect that to down there, but that's basically the size of the piece. It's proving to be pretty quick and easy. I'm sorry I don't have a picture to show you. But it's just a dragon and there's some specialty stitches along the edges, and that's going to be quick and easy. So when I'm like, I want Teresa Wentzler, but I don't have me to like deal with the counting and fractionals and blends of the Woodland Fairy, I'm like, oh, I can stitch on a small Teresa Wentzler. And I like having that option. So that's happening. Getting so thirsty, guys. I'm going to save. Well, no, I'm not. I pulled this out the other day. I might end up stitching this with Lisa, Crossed by Floss. She and I stitch together when we can, every week. And you guys know I don't do a lot of samplers. The samplers I am drawn to tend to be very pictorial like this. This is Martha Walmsley, 1847, from Hands Across the Sea. I was enabled to get this from Sarah, Lady Lugana, who has very good taste in samplers. I feel like our taste matches up a lot. I got the 103s to stitch this with, and I'm going to be using one of my Oak Crown fabrics. This is Marjorie Gertrude, 1907, named after one of my great aunts who I adored. This is what I'm going to be using to stitch this piece on, and I think it's going to be stunning. And Lisa might have it too. So we were talking the other day, and we might get started on this together. So this is definitely on my radar. Freya, you gotta stop going back and forth, babe. You gotta. You're being very high maintenance. Another Kathy's Posies bag. Do you want to come up? You gonna come up? Come here. Okay, come here. Yes. Now go up here. Good girl. Good girl. Okay, hi baby. This is another new start. This was the first thing I tried to stitch after my surgery. I don't know how many days after my surgery it was. It was probably at least a couple of weeks. And very quickly was like, no, I can't. Like, I can't focus. I can't do it. This is from Magic Needle. It's called The Old Manor. And I saw this on someone's Flosstube. Was it Red Stitchery? I saw this on somebody's channel and just absolutely fell in love. Barely started. This is how far I got before I was like, It probably took me an hour to get these stitches in. And I just, like, it was a great try, Amy. but no cigar. But that's okay. It's beautiful. And one thing I love about kits on Ada is that they're just so easy to, like, most of them, so easy to just pick up and put down whenever. This was a kit I had every intention of starting, but have not yet. It's called Maison Victorienne. No, Victorian House. I was looking down here and I was like, well, that one's in Spanish. This one must be in English. No, but that one's in French, because I should have looked up here. It's an old Busilla kit, Victorian House. And if you've seen any of my videos, especially my kit parade, you guys know I have more than a few kits of, like, cute little Victorian homes or cottages in their gardens. Well, I was feeling this one, and I haven't started it yet. I love the pond. I feel like this is going to be one of those that when it's stitched looks so much better than the cover photo that you're just blown away. So this is on, I'm keeping this one handy so that when I am in the mood to start it, I can. I did go ahead and organize all of the floss. And so this came as an old kit. Look at the colors. It's so cheerful and springy and beautiful. So this was an old kit. I do tend to, you can get old kits on the secondary market. If they're not one of those kits that's like super sought after, you can get old kits on the secondary market for like 12 or 15 bucks sometimes, like and really nice kits. But this one, when it came, and it was sealed up, I believe, but the fabric was funky. I was not okay with the fabric. It was an Ada, but like it was stained or smelly or something was wrong with it. I don't remember exactly. So I'm gonna swap it out for linen, which is easy enough to do because I run a fabric dyeing company. So I'm gonna switch that out for linen, and that will be ready to go. I don't know if I have it on handy. I think it's tucked behind me. I also, on my short list, although I don't have it to show you, is also Dana's Roses. I'm going to be starting Dana's Roses sooner rather than later. I can't reach it. It's behind me. And I'm not going to, like, turn up and around and bend over to get it. So I'll show you Dana's Roses next time. But that one's gonna be started soon. For those of you who don't know, I live in Pittsburgh, and we've just had a really cold winter. Today is lovely. It's actually like 60 degrees out. I have windows open. You might be able to hear wind chimes. It's gorgeous. It's supposed to snow again this weekend. And the projects I have pulled out to have handy and like ready to start has definitely been informed by how like cold and miserable our winter has been. Sorry, trying to straighten my knee and it really hurts. Because I also pulled out this kit. It's so good. View of the Garden by Janlin. It's so pretty, you guys. This just makes me so happy to look at the cat in the window and look at the garden. It's like a little cottage garden. I am nothing if not predictable. I have the kit Ada. I have organized the floss. I love organizing floss, you guys. Oh, I know people usually hate it, but man, give me a good floss organization session any day. Makes me very happy. Need to get more floss away bags. All right, so that one's handy and ready to start. Oh my goodness. So much going. Oh, I forgot about this one. Just settle in. I'm not even close to done. All right, so this is a project I pulled out the other day. I have also been in a Joan Elliott mood. Now, I really like a lot of Joan Elliott's designs. I love her stuff. And I actually, when I start thinking about it and kind of going through my stash, I have a ton of her patterns. I've got a bunch of her books, which when I bought them, I didn't buy them because they were Joan Elliott. They're some of the earliest cross-stitch books that I bought. I didn't bring them all with me to show you. At some point, I might do just like a Joan Elliott video to show you what I have. I've stitched one of her small designs, which I've shown on the channel before. It's a little castle. And I have a couple of whips, but this is the primary whip I have of hers. Ooh, and I pulled up an image of this too for you guys because I don't have the cover. I'm working from a working copy, and so I don't have the cover photo. A lot of her patterns are available as PDFs, even on the 123 Stitch website as well. So if you're a PDF person, you can get them as instant downloads. So this is Sleeping Beauty from Joan Elliott. What time is it? I have to go pick up my children soon. This has been kind of put away for a little while, but I feel like it shouldn't be. I'm just making a mess of things. So I got it back out. Oh my goodness, you guys don't even want to know what I just did with this needle. It's fine. All right. Sleeping Beauty. So, you guys know I jump around a lot. I have always been working kind of up in this top left corner. I've been stitching this in hand. I would really like to get like the outer bounds of it as much as I can kind of sketched in so I can see where I'm going. So I actually counted over and I'm starting to go down, like the outside frame that goes most of the way down, so that when I start my next strand, I can pick up there and just stitch right over to this and I'll know where to stop. I don't have to count as I stitch. So that's where I am with this, but yeah, my intentions are to keep this out and be making some somewhat consistent progress on this. I have some bigger priorities between now and July, but then probably try to focus on this a bit more. I also, because I was in like a Joan Elliott mood, I didn't go through my whole stash. I know I have more Joan Elliott's in other places. And like I said, I have several books tucked in different places with whips that are Joan Elliott whips. But I also had these 2 paper patterns that I'd like to, maybe when I'm starting to see like real progress on this and it's progressing towards a finish, maybe start one of these. I have Rapunzel and Mother Moon. Although I will probably do something different. I think this is, I haven't looked at the chart, but this isn't, I don't believe, full coverage. I think it's done on like a light pink fabric. Although I'm not certain, because like I said, I haven't looked at the chart. But if I'm correct that this is done on a light pink fabric, I'm not sure if I would use one of my light pink fabrics like Blush or Whisper, or if I would do something a little bit different. I don't know. Because I think she might look really good on a really light blue as well. Anyway, so those, I'm keeping them in the project bag as motivation. Make progress and finish Sleeping Beauty, and you can have these other gorgeous designs as well. All right, another chatelaine I've been working on. Let's see. This one I have to scroll down. I forgot to pull it up. Oh no, it's on the same page as Paris. In the Chatelaine gallery, like there's a page for a section of each section of the alphabet has like its own page. You kind of have to scroll through the page. So this is Oriental Harem Garden. It's absolutely beautiful. I also think if this isn't the biggest, it's one of the biggest. It might be the biggest. This is actually my travel chatelaine. I converted this one to do all in DMC. I'm not that far at all. So I'm including a bunch of threads that, the DMC variegated threads. So not everybody's like this. Like Maggie, she's amazing. She'll take any of her chatelaines anywhere. I am not that brave. I want to keep my chatelaines clean. I'm nervous. I don't want anything bad to happen to them. But I'm also a project washer at heart. If it's not a chatelaine, I wash it. I wash everything that isn't a chatelaine. The chatelaines I've just found are not, it's just not practical to do that. There's too many of the materials bleed too much. I really wanted a chatelaine that I didn't have to worry about any bleeding on. That I knew I could throw in the wash as many times as I needed to and everything would be okay. And without looking at the stitch count, I decided Oriental Harem Garden was going to be that one. So this also has been a fun stitch so far. It's easy to put away and take back out. I work on it a lot in our Zooms. Here's all of my standard DMC. Oh, and I am doing the Petite Treasure braid. You can wash Petite Treasure braid. So I have the Petite Treasure braids and then DMC. I followed Martina, the designer's DMC conversion for everything she offered a conversion for, because often on her designs she offers a DMC conversion if she feels like there's an appropriate conversion. And then there's a lot of like NA or just like a dash, like no, there's nothing that it'll convert to. I did get the bead pack. I'm trying to finish the center of it right now so I can put that, because I'm stitching in hand so I can bead as I go. I just really want to put that giant gemstone in the middle. So I need beautiful beads. And then I did this like online and I have a record of what I'm converting to what, but here's I basically went through and made a list of DMC variegated threads that might be a good fit for some of the called for, like the Glorianas and Water Lilies and whatever. And bought a bunch of them. And sometimes I'm adjusting. I have like extras in here. Like, I don't know, if there were 15 specialty threads, I bought 20 different colors. And with certain ones in mind as the conversion, but also I'm kind of willing to adjust as I go. If I'm like, oh, now that I see it in person, this one might be a better fit than that one or whatever. So it's kind of a huge experiment, and by huge I mean it's like 400 and some odd stitches by 400 some odd stitches, but it's also enjoyable, and it does allow me to relax a bit knowing I can wash it. It just does. It doesn't bother me particularly with the rest of my chatelaines that I can't wash them, but for chatelaines that I'm like stitching in my car and stuff, I want to be able to wash those if I drop it on the ground or something. Okay, I'm going to show you my really pathetic start on the, it's really pathetic. This is the Haid stitch along, and I do not have the image to show you. I am doing Stone Cottage Keep, which is like the stone cottage with the garden. So for those of you who aren't familiar, I think I talked about this in my last video. I'm not going to go through the whole thing again. But here's what happened. There's a stitch along. You choose one of like a dozen patterns to do. And one of the goals was that if you finish a page, if you get a page finish over the course of a year, you earn this Amy Stewart chart. And I was really looking forward to this and feeling like that was a great motivator. And actually, as soon as they dropped the chart before New Year's, I got started. I barely got started. Again, I was still like not feeling great, not feeling up to stitching, but I wanted to make sure I at least got started. So I got some stitches in that first day, was very happy. But then they also, they decided to give us all the reward chart in advance. And it just took the wind out of my sails, quite honestly. I'm still going to stitch this. But all the motivation I had to like really attack this and go at it just completely, it just went up in smoke. I'm just like, well, kind of what's the point now? You already gave me the thing I was working for. So what? Anyway, they did a lovely thing by giving us the chart early. Here's all my floss. I'm all ready to go. They really did a lovely thing, but it took the wind out of my sails, and I am now lacking in motivation. But hopefully I'm going to get back to this as well. I'm gonna end up with sore throat. All right, let me talk about Chatelaine a little bit more. Here's what happened. I said I was going through and making, oh my goodness, getting things all set up for like matching fabrics to, sorry, I'm like losing my words mid-sentence. Getting fabrics set up for or assigned to different chatelaines. Well, I have well, here, I'm going to show you. This is where I am now. I'm not going to go through the whole story. This is a chatelaine that I don't think I'd ever seen before. There's not a stitched one on the gallery, but I got the pattern because I think it's beautiful. She's got a series of 3 hearts that are all like different flowers. This one's Heart of Aquamarines and Alexandrites. It's super pretty, and it comes with an alphabet, so you can like write something in there or personalize it. Don't know what I'll put inside yet. I think I'm going to stitch this on Stitch and Shorty, which is one of my fabrics. It's not as, the camera increases the contrast. It's just not as modeled as that. I love this fabric. This is one of my favorite fabrics that I dye. It's like bluey greens and purples. It's just so lovely. One of my absolute favorites. I just dyed a big batch. I think I've pulled some of the fabric or some of the flosses. I think I'm going to stitch that on this. The purples in here are so subtle that I think it'll highlight the purples of the pattern without, it's not going to like, it'll still be enough contrast to make the design pop. So I've got that as can start anytime. And it's a small chatelaine. It fits on less than a fat quarter. Relatively easy to do. So I have that. Okay, so here's the crazy thing that I'm struggling with. So one of my, and you guys please tell me what you think below, okay? Way too many windows open. So I have the kit on order for beaded dragonfly tile, which I'm going to show you in a second. Let me get to it. I love most of the beaded tiles, but the beaded dragonfly tile is, well, I'm going to say my second favorite because I also have the scarab tile going. So here's the beaded dragonfly tile. It's absolutely beautiful. These beaded tiles, by the way, are also relatively inexpensive. If you're looking like a good way into chatelaine, they're relatively small and relatively inexpensive. So I was going through all my fabric. Here's what happened. I got really motivated. So I got feeling very adventurous. So usually for chatelaine in particular, I pick a fabric that's relatively plain. I don't, for me, there's a pretty low threshold for when the fabric starts to interfere with the design. I want to make sure that the design and its colors really sing and are really the focus, and don't interfere, that the fabric doesn't interfere with visually the like pop of the design and your eye's ability to interpret the design. But I was feeling wild and crazy. So I was like, you know what? Beaded dragonfly tile is pretty small. It might be fun to go a little wild and crazy for beaded dragonfly tile. I'm going to use this. This is Easter Parade from Sweet Stash Fabrics, is it? They're no longer dyeing, as far as I know. Like they closed down. If they may have reopened, but I don't think so. And I was like, you know what? Let's go wild and crazy. Let's do this. It'll be a blast. And then I went to sleep. It literally, by the time I woke up, I was like, no, let's do this. Let's do this instead. A nice kind of minty, sagey green. This is a better fit. This is a more typical Amy choice. This is not. What do you guys think? It would be fun to do something different. It really would. It would be fun to do something kind of off the wall and not my normal choice. But also it would look really beautiful on the screen. This is an offcut of a country stitch fabric. I don't remember what color. Let me know what you think. Do I go wild and crazy? Or do I go more traditional? Okay. Let me know. Because I feel like depending on the time of day, my opinion changes. And I'd really like to know what you guys think. I'm almost done. I've also been sewing project bags. I like having a lot of project bags in different sizes. And I had a bunch of project bags cut out for like a year or more. But they hadn't been sewn yet. Oh God, I have more to show you. Anyway, they hadn't been sewn yet. So I, I spent a day putting a bunch of them together so that I would have a place to put all these chatelaines that I was organizing. Okay, a few other things that are on my radar. I brought this back from where it has been at my cabin. I haven't started it yet, and I think I'm going to pull a new fabric for it. I'll pull a linen. This is a Bucilla kit called Guardian Dragon, that I've had, and I've had it open for years. Just haven't actually put any stitches in it. There is some over one stitching on this. I think it's beautiful. It's so me. That dragon, the castle, the flowers, and the wall. So this might get started as soon as I pull better fabric. This is, I bought this at Stitch North a couple years ago. Flowers at the Gate from Textured Treasures. This is one of those, it's like it's a bunch of specialty stitches and whatnot. It comes, I have the kit for it. It's got sulkies and beads and some treasures in there. I just thought it was beautiful, and I love the greens and like the pinks and purples. And probably because I've been in that sort of chatelaine mood. I have a few of these Textured Treasures designs, but I haven't started any yet. And I pulled this out because I think this might get started soon. And then the other thing I have on my radar to start soon is Butterfly Forest from Dimensions Gold. And this is Sarah Stitch and Mommy's Fault. I don't think she's started hers yet. But she has plans to. And she shows it. She showed it in like a recent video, like a week or two ago. And I've been like, I pulled this out the first time I saw her show it here recently, like a month or two ago or something. And it's just been sitting there waiting and staring at me, asking me why I haven't started it yet. So yeah, this is on the list too to maybe get started soon. Okay, the last thing I have to talk about is some of you know that for Oak Crown Studios, I do, well, first let me show you, this is a better picture. I pulled this too. This was last month's fabric of the month. It's on the website, ready to order. It's called Toasted Coconut. Again, the camera is highlighting, it's increasing the contrast. But it definitely does have these like caramel colored modeling in it, but it just doesn't look that kind of jarring in person. This is what I'm stitching my summer mandala garden on. In case you wanted to see that. That was my fabric of the month, and I think I'm mailing that piece off to somebody. So I also do, what are they called? I also do mystery boxes. Those were the words I was looking for. And there's none available for pre-order on my website right now. I'm getting ready to send out here in a couple weeks. There's a Second Breakfast mystery box, which is kind of Shire themed. Second Breakfast kind of says it all for the theme of the box. So I'm getting ready to send that one out. All of my boxes come with 3 fat quarters. You get to choose your count and like type of fabric. And then some other little stitchy related goodies. I do as much as possible, or unless I have a really good reason not to, I stick to stitching related items. Some people like getting things that aren't stitching related in their boxes, but I try to keep mine stitching focused. Like you're not going to get a pair of socks from me, for example. Nothing against boxes with socks. It's just not what I'm trying to do. So the one that just went out is was a natural dyes box, which was a very unique and special thing. Natural dyeing is much more time consuming and difficult, quite frankly, for most natural dyes. But I really wanted to do it. This was an opportunity for me to devote some more time to my natural dyeing, which is a thing I'm very passionate about. And hopefully spread that love to some other people. And I'm thrilled with how it turned out. So the fabrics, and these are the fabrics. And I'll have a few of these available for sale in person at the retreats, because I vended our retreats as well. but I'm not going to put these colors up on the website because they are so time consuming to make. They're just not that easy. Yeah, I have some natural dyed fabrics available, but and there hopefully will be more in the future, but like some of these were so time consuming, it's just not financially viable for me to offer them routinely. But I did a box and it was a blast. So this fabric here was dyed with kutch, which is from a tropical plant. Tropical meaning it's from like South Asia, I believe. So this was kutch dyed. I'm keeping these. These are for me. These linens are mine. I will be stitching on these. They're so beautiful. I love the rich tones that you get from natural dyes. This one's walnut, which walnut's actually pretty easy to dye. Oh, it's just such a warm, like toasty brown. And then this one is from oak galls. And also just so beautiful. Oh, I love this. The oak galls and the walnut might find their way onto my website at some point. The kutch will not. If I do kutch, it's going to be, if I do kutch again, it'll be like a very limited run sort of thing, even though I love the color. But it took over my kitchen for like a full 2 days. I just can't do that. And I love the way they look together. They're just, this one's more golden, this one's more gray. They're beautiful. I love them. I'm thrilled. And then the other, so I really went handmade for this one. I started dyeing silks. They're not on the website yet. I will let you know when those are ready to launch. But this box for the people that ordered it came with 3 silks. These skeins are messy because they're mine. Hopefully they don't look that messy usually. But this was the kutch, the walnut, and the oak galls. And this is a water lily base. They're so soft. I love water lilies, and I love how these silks came out. They're just so beautiful. And I always feel like I'm looking, when I am stitching something like samplery or more primitive, I'm always looking for these sorts of colors, like really good neutrals and like browns and like shades for like stems and stuff. This would be a really good because it's got that pink tone to it. Big, great shade to be part of a flower. I also made, I sewed pouches for everybody who got this box. It can be used as like a notions pouch. Sewed by me using Liberty of London fabric in the inside and the front, and then leaning into the whole natural vibe. This is natural cork fabric for the back, and I used a linen fabric to bind them. So everybody got one of these pouches, and I also made everybody a little English paper piece pincushion, which I love. I absolutely love. And I get to keep one, which makes me happy. I end up keeping the prototype is basically what happens. I make the thing once to make sure it's going to work, and then that's like my practice, and then everybody else gets the nicer ones. But I love my little pincushion, matching pouch, floss, and fabric. So this was the most recent box to go out. My second breakfast box is going out here in a couple of weeks, and maybe even by the time this video goes live, I'm going to be putting up a sampler box for pre-order. They are all just pre-order only. I only make enough as I have the number of people who order them, plus an extra for me to show on the video. So the sampler box is going to be a traditional, like very leaning into like traditional sampler stuff. The fabrics aren't going to all be tan. I can tell you that right now. They won't all be tan, but they will all be a much like a traditional. There will be some tan. You might hear my husband come home in a second. There's likely to be some tan, and they will all be fabrics that would look appropriate on a traditional sampler sense. There's not going to be like bright fuchsia, which is a beautiful color, but it's not going to be in the sampler box, if that makes sense. And it'll be supplies that you would think of using with a sampler pattern. I think that's it. Oh, just so you know, like my typical themes, I do all kinds of themes. So my second breakfast box is going out soon. I did a natural dyes box. I'm doing a sampler box. In the past, I've done a fairy box, a mermaid box, and a dragon box. I think that's all. So if you're interested in mystery boxes, keep an eye on my channel, keep an eye on my website. I usually keep the ordering up for several months before cutting off ordering, and then I cut off ordering usually at least 2 months before the expected ship by date. I think that's all. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with me for over an hour and a half. I hope you got to enjoy some stitching while we were hanging out. It's so good to be back, and hopefully it won't be so long before my next Flosstube. Thanks, guys. Bye.